The galaxy first saw it drifting, limping through the void like a drunk stumbling home at dawn. A battered, orange-stained freighter, human in origin, if the faded lettering on the hull was to be believed. Its panels were mismatched, its engines coughed light instead of roaring, and its hull looked like it had survived 3 scrapyards, a meteor shower, and possibly a very bad divorce. When the Ka-Thul War Clan picked it up on their sensors, they laughed. Truly laughed. Deep, booming guffaws that rattled their throat sacs. Humans, they sneered across open channels. Rust worshippers. Scrap collectors. Did they sail this heap here on hope and chewing gum? The freighter drifted closer. Slowly. Painfully. Its transponder chirped, misfiring like an asthmatic bird. And in the cramped, coffee-scented control room of that freighter, Lieutenant Marcus Hale smiled politely and stirred 2 sugars into his mug. His uniform jacket was unbuttoned, his boots were scuffed, and his tone, when he finally pressed the comm switch, was maddeningly calm. "Good evening, esteemed Ka-Thul commanders. Lovely weather we're having in this quadrant, isn't it?" The Ka-Thul nearly choked on their laughter. "Weather? We're in the void, ape." "Yes, yes," Hale said smoothly, sipping. "Void, vacuum, tomato, tomato. All a matter of perspective, don't you think?" The aliens blinked at each other, confusion tugging at their mandibles. To them, humans were supposed to beg, to plead, to squeal before the knife came down. But here was one, smiling through static, making jokes about weather. And that was the first warning. The second came when the Vorsh traders arrived to watch. They gathered in crystal-hulled skiffs, drifting like chandelier shards around the Ka-Thul fleet, murmuring among themselves. "The humans send trash ships," they chimed musically. "It must be a bluff. They cannot fight with rust." The third warning came when the freighter hiccuped, and then kept coming anyway. Inside, Hale leaned back in his chair. Around him, the crew shuffled cards, cooked noodles, and argued about the last World Cup penalty. Not one of them looked worried. Not one even manned a weapon. Because the weapons weren't on the consoles. They were in the walls. The Ka-Thul commander growled across the channel. "Human, you drift into our sector. You mock us with this carcass. You will power down, or we will tear your ship apart." Hale's smile widened, polite as an English tea host. "Power down? Oh, I'm afraid she doesn't power up very well. She's terribly old, you see. Rust in the joints, bit of arthritis in the thrusters. Charming personality, though. I've grown attached." "You dare mock us?" the Ka-Thul roared. "Mock." Hale's voice dripped innocence. "Never. I'm English. We don't mock. We understate." The laughter resumed, cruel and sharp, echoed by other fleets tuning in to watch the humiliation. Because what was more entertaining than watching humanity stumble into its grave with a rusty tin can? But as the freighter reached the perimeter line, Hale placed his coffee mug carefully on the console, straightened his jacket, and in a tone so courteous it chilled the blood, he said, "Gentle beings, I must apologize. This ship is not what it seems." And then the freighter opened fire. Not a little fire. Not a cough of defense lasers or a panicked missile. The ship's entire hull unfolded like a steel chrysalis cracking. Panels slid back to reveal batteries upon batteries of cannons, plasma rails, missile pods, and things with names no alien had in their lexicons. What had looked like rusted patchwork was layered armor. What had seemed like missing plating was disguised launch bays. The Ka-Thul roars died in their throats. The Vorsh songs turned to shrieks. The first salvo vaporized 2 cruisers. The second cut a battle platform in half. By the third, the Ka-Thul fleet was screaming into retreat, their laughter gone, their arrogance melted in nuclear fire. Through it all, Hale spoke with the measured calm of a man commenting on the weather. "Oh dear. That shot went a little wide, didn't it? Terribly sorry about your cruiser. I'll try to be more precise next time." Polite menace. A smile with teeth. The galaxy watched in horror and awe as one rusted human freighter shredded a fleet built for conquest. And whispers began to spread. Perhaps the humans were not naive. Perhaps the rust was camouflage. Perhaps they had been playing a longer game. In the days that followed, more ships appeared. Old cargo haulers, mining barges, medical frigates. All rusted. All weak. All smiling death when their shells cracked open. The aliens began to panic. "They hide wolves in sheep's clothing," the Vorsh wailed. "They bait us with weakness." The K'Arthul snarled, humiliated. "It was one trap, nothing more. We will strike Earth itself." And so they massed their fleets. Hundreds of ships. Thousands. A tide of teeth and metal pointed at the blue planet of the humans. Hale met them there, standing on the bridge of a vessel that still looked, to the untrained eye, like a rust bucket with a caffeine addiction. He greeted them cheerfully. "Lovely of you all to drop by. Care for tea before we start?" The K'Arthul roared their defiance and charged. The humans smiled and whistled. And the sky cracked open. From behind the moon, from the asteroid belts, from the shadows of space itself, human ships emerged. Not shiny warships. Not gleaming armadas. Rusted hulks, battered freighters, scavenger rigs. Every one of them bristling with hidden teeth. Every one a predator pretending to be prey. The aliens realized too late. Humanity had not survived the dark forest by hiding. They had survived by pretending to be weak. By luring the hunters in. By setting traps in plain sight. The battle was not a battle. It was a slaughter. Hale's voice carried through the comms, calm, polite, and merciless. "You see, my friends, predators laugh at weakness. They always have. And we humans, we're very good at laughing along, right until the punchline." The galaxy burned with the echo of that laughter. Civilizations that had hidden for millennia trembled. Those who had mocked the rust learned fear. And when the dust settled, the truth was undeniable. Humans were not prey. Humans were the hunters who painted themselves in rust, who carried coffee into war, who smiled while they sharpened their knives. The old ship drifted once more, battle smoke curling from its hull. Hale lifted his mug, sipped, and muttered, "Told you she had charm." The crew chuckled. The galaxy did not. Because now everyone knew. In a forest where silence meant survival, humanity had walked in whistling. Rusted ships, jokes, coffee, and all. And the punchline? They'd set the trap long before the first alien laughed.